Okay, before we move on to round 7, double check your stitch count. Make sure you have 48 double crochet. Okay, so round 7. So we're going to chain 1 and we're then going to front loop single crochet in the same stitch. Okay, so that same front loop of the chain 3. That's our first stitch, so if you want to pop a stitch marker in there to help you for joining at the end, then do. Okay, what we're making in this round is ruffle stitches. Okay, so we start off front, so we're going into the next stitch. Okay, so front loop single in the next stitch, and then around the post of that same stitch we're going to make a front post half double, and I always find it easier to sort of flip it round so that I've got the stitch horizontal there. Okay, and then 3 front post doubles. Get through, that's it. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so you've got a front loop single crochet and then front post half double and 3 front post doubles, all in and around that same stitch. Okay, we then skip the next stitch, and it's much easier to look at posts rather than top loops, because you can see that top loop there is almost hidden already. Okay, so skip the next stitch, front loop single in the next one, and that completes your ruffle stitch. Okay, so then we just start again, front loop single in the next stitch, and then front post half double and 3 front post doubles. 1, 2 and 3. Skip the next stitch, front loop single in the next stitch to complete your ruffle stitch. Okay, so when you look at the back, or if you look from on top, you'll have 1 skipped stitch and then you'll see 2 back loops. 1 skipped stitch, 2 back loops, all the way around. Okay, so you are going to make a total of 16 ruffle stitches. Okay, and once you come all the way round, this front loop single crochet here, you'll have all the front post stitches here, skip that one, and then you're going to join to that front loop single crochet. Again, I recommend an invisible join, because you're then going to fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, and I'll come back to you once I've finished this round. Okay, so once you have finished round 7, whoops, that's our first stitch. So we're going to make our invisible join around there. Take that marker out. There we go. Okay, now when you work your ends away, come right down and work away your ends underneath this round here. Okay, and remember to go back and forth under 4 or 5 stitches and 3 or 4 times. Okay, and if you remember at the beginning I said about using a pointed needle, and it's basically because a pointed needle will split the yarn more, which then means it doesn't pull back out. Okay, and this other end here, we're going to work away around there. With securing your magic ring, okay, when you are right-handed, your magic ring goes in a clockwise direction. If you're left-handed, it will go the other way. Okay, so come round underneath the base of a few stitches and then pull extra tight. Okay, and then because it's going to be very, very difficult to work away under here because it's so tight, come up. So you come up the back of the cluster and then work away underneath these stitches above from round 2. Okay, because it's much, much easier to work the end away and to make sure you get it really secure. Okay, snip that off, and then again with this other tail end, work it away underneath the stitches of round 2. Okay, round 8. Okay, again we've got the hint to keep the chains the same size as the top loops of our normal stitches to avoid any cupping. Okay, we're going to start by making a beginning popcorn in any skipped stitch from round 6. Okay, so behind any of your popcorns you will see a skipped stitch in between the 2 front loop ones. Okay, so we're going to start with a standing double crochet in there, and we are then going to make another 4 double crochet. Okay, if you are working all in one colour, you will need to just slip stitch into one of the skipped or the next skip stitch and then start your beginning popcorn with a chain 3. Okay, so we've got 5 double crochet. We're going to lift that up and take our hook out underneath the 2 top loops of that first stitch, back into the working loop, pull down, and then I pinch and pull forward, which makes it easier to slide your hook through. Chain 1, okay, and that closes your popcorn. So that chain 1 is included in the popcorn stitch. We're then going to chain 3. Okay, and remember, keep those chains the same size as the top loops of your normal stitches. You're then going to popcorn into the next skipped stitch of round 6. Okay, so remember it's 5 double crochet. It's 4 and 5. Pull up, take your hook out underneath the top 2 loops of the first stitch back in to your working loop, pinch, pull through, chain 1 to finish. Okay, chain 3, and then popcorn into the next skipped stitch. Okay, you're going to do that 16 times. Okay, omit the last popcorn because you've already made that. Join to the beginning popcorn, fasten off and secure your ends. Again, it will be easier to work the ends away after you've made the next couple of rounds. Round 9. Okay, we're going to join with a slip stitch in any chain 3 space. Okay. Skip this next stitch, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, chain 4, then we're going to make 3 treble, okay, and then we're going to make a picot. Okay, so to make a picot we're going to chain 3 and then come down through the middle of the stitch, behind the front loop and behind the loop on the top of the stitch, and slip stitch. Okay, that's how we make a perfect picot. And we're then going to make another 2 treble. Okay, 1 and 2, chain 4, and then slip stitch in the same chain 3 space. Okay, so that is our repeat. So skip the stitch, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 treble, and then we're going to make a picot, so it's chain 1, 2, 3, and then let me zoom right in so you can see this really clearly. Okay, from the middle of the stitch behind the front loop and through that loop at the side at the top of the stitch and slip stitch. Okay, and that makes our picot. Then another 2 treble into the same space, chain 4, and oops, got my yarn all tangled, and then slip stitch in the same chain 3 space. Oops, come on through, that's it. Okay, so that is our repeat. So it's slip stitch, chain 4, 3 treble, then make your picot, 2 treble, chain 4 and slip stitch. Okay, so you're going to do that 16 times altogether, and each petal has got 5 treble, 1 picot and 2 chain 4s. Okay, all the way round, and you're going to join to that first slip stitch there with a slip stitch. Okay, sorry, at the end of round 9 I said to join to the first slip stitch with a slip stitch, but you need to fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, so round 10, and we're going to join with a back post single crochet around the last treble. Okay, so not the chain 4, but around the last treble of any repeat. Okay, back post single. We're then going to skip the chain 4s and back post single around the next 5 stitches. Okay, so all of the chain 4s are skipped, and it is just the trebles that you will make a back post single around. Okay, so there's 5 in each petal. Okay, so skip both of those chain 4s and then 5 back post singles, and keep going all the way round. So you're going to have a total of 80 back post single crochets, and you will join to the standing back post single with a slip stitch. Okay, round 11. Okay, we're going to chain 3, and that counts as a double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then we're going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and this is going to be the back post single that's around that 3rd treble where the picot is. Okay, so 1, 2, and then in the next 4, okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so each repeat you're going to make 2 double crochet into the back post single behind the picot, and then double crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, you're going to do that 16 times, and as the pattern says, omit the last 3 because you've already made those. Okay, so once you've done the 2 in there, you've only got 1 more to make. Join to the top of the chain 3, fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, round 12. We are going to join with a standing single crochet in any stitch. Okay, I'm actually going to line mine up with one of these front post trebles from down here, so I'm going to go in there. Okay, single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so we've got 2 single crochets there, and then we start our repeat. So we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and then in the next stitch we are going to make a 3 treble cluster and then chain 3, 3 treble cluster twice. Okay, so normally when you start any treble stitch you're going to yarn over twice, but what often happens is you get a baggy top loop, so we're just going to yarn over once. Going to skip the 2 stitches into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and through 2. Okay, now you can see that slack yarn there. That's what makes our top loop baggy. So what we're going to do is pinch, take your hook out, yarn over and put it back in, and then pull through 2. And you can see now that already that's tightened that up, so this top loop is going to end up nice and tight. Okay, so we've got a 3 treble cluster. So you only use that technique on the first treble of any sort of cluster stitch or where you're making a shell. Okay, so then we're going to yarn over and through all of them. Okay, and you can see how that treble cluster stitch is the same size as those 2 single crochets. Okay, we're going to chain 3 and 3 treble cluster twice. Okay, so all in the same stitch. So I'm going to make 3 partial trebles. Okay, a partial stitch means that you just don't complete the last yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and the third 3 treble cluster. Okay, so as you look at the PDF, it says skip next 2 stitches, and then in the next stitch, which is this one we've worked into, 3 treble cluster, and then chain 3, 3 treble cluster twice. Okay, so we're then going to skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to single crochet in the next 3. Okay, and that is our repeat. Skip 2, and then in the next stitch 3 treble cluster, chain 3, 3 treble cluster twice, skip the next 2, single crochet in the next 3. Okay, and you are going to do that 12 times, and you'll omit the last 2 single crochet because you've already made them. Join to your standing single crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 13, and we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the second single crochet of any repeat. Okay, so it's into the middle one and a standing single crochet, and then single crochet in the next stitch, and then we start our repeat. Okay, so front post single, so make sure that you come right around that cluster. Okay, single crochet, then you're going to make 3, 2, 3 single crochet in the next chain 3 space, and you're going to do that twice. Okay, so front post single, and then 1, 2 and 3, and then front post single around that last cluster. Okay, and make sure that you don't catch that third loop of the first single crochet there, and we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so you're not skipping any stitches at all anywhere on this round. Okay, so front post single around the cluster, 3 single crochet in the chain 3 space, do that twice, front post single, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches, which are your single crochet. You're going to do that 12 times. Okay, you'll omit the last 2 single crochet on the last repeat because you've already made those. Join to that standing single crochet with a slip stitch. Round 14. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. Okay, if you need to, pop a marker in that first single crochet so that you don't mistake your slip stitch join or your chain 1 for a stitch as you come round towards the end of this round. Okay, you're going to skip the next stitch, which is that single crochet, and you're then going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, so that's the first front post single and the 3 singles made into that chain space. Then in the next front post single we are going to make 3 single crochet. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. We're then going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Okay, which brings us down the last of those 4 stitches. The 4th one is into that front post single. We're then going to skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next. Okay, so that is our repeat. Skip the 3rd of the 3 single crochets, single crochet in 4, 3 single crochet in that front post single around your middle cluster, single crochet in the next 4, 4th one ends in this front post single, skip the next stitch, which is your first single crochet there, and single crochet in the next one, which is the middle one. Okay, go ahead and do that 12 times. You're going to omit the last single crochet because you've already made that at the beginning. Join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch.